Hello all, welcome to the tutorial for the 2024 AFFL Fantasy Draft Online. Okay, first we're just going to go through a few things that we have to do. When you sign on to your regular page, you're going to go to Draft. It's up at the top, you can see it right here. You're going to go to Draft, and when the draft starts, it will say Draft Room. If it's a few minutes before, it won't have the draft room there. But as soon as the draft room is there, you can go down and click on it. It will bring you to the draft room.
You are on the clock.
And it will tell you that you are on the clock if you are on the clock. I put myself first for this. But as the commissioner, I can make any pick for anybody. So if you have a problem, I'll be able to do it for you. You can see how the draft order is. It's got a little blue mark underneath there. So you can see that you're on the clock. And it'll go to each one as the time goes. Now, one of the things you'll see here is that it has all, just like when you're doing a waiver claim, you can go to any of the players. If you want to go to quarterbacks, the quarterbacks will show up, okay? If you want to go to, I'm going to make this larger here, you can scroll down to the quarterbacks and pick them, okay? If you want to go to all, it'll give you all. It'll give you all the players. If you want to go to top, it'll give you the top, what CBS considers their top of each position. Okay? So there's your top. I had quarterbacks there. But it will give you, top will give you 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, and a defensive special team player. Okay? So you can go at any point. So there's also things here to black out the last pick, back out the last pick, which is for me. If somebody makes a mistake, I can back you out of it. You can also have it so that it blocks out the picks that have already been made, so you can see them with a slash through them. Slash isn't all that dark, but it's there. So anyway, I'm just going to show you kind of how this works. This is we're going to go right to all players for right now. And I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to click on the top player there, which is Jonathan Taylor, right? So I'm going to click on Jonathan Taylor and you're going to see his picture comes up and it gives me an option to draft or put him in the queue. So I can put him in the queue and he goes to number 1 in the queue at the bottom of that page. I can go to the next person down, for example, and go to Jalen Hurts. I can put Jalen Hurts, I can draft him now or put him in the queue. And I'm going to go to the third player, which is CeeDee Lamb, and I'm also going to put him in the queue. Okay, the reason for the queue is it's players that you want to draft. If you have players in the queue and your pick comes up, it will take your number 1 pick in the queue, which right here is Jonathan Taylor, and it will automatically make the pick for you. So if you don't want someone or you change your mind, you can go over, you can either hit draft the person or you can hit remove. Okay? So if you want to remove them, you can just hit remove and it'll take them out of the queue. But for the sake of going through here, I'm going to draft, and here's where everything's going to be. All the picks, everybody does. I'm going to draft Jonathan Taylor with the first pick. So I'm going to hit draft. Jonathan Taylor is going to go into the draft results. And it's going to switch over to, I believe that's Renee, right? So Renee would be up on the board. So I'm going to pick Renee's player right now. So for the sake of it, what I'm going to show you now is that here's my queue. I have players in there. You'll see that because I picked Jonathan Taylor, he disappeared. Now, if Renee were to pick and he decided to go with Jalen Hurts, he can click on Jalen Hurts and draft him. See, I don't have the queue here because it's not my queue. This is for his pick. So because this is Renee, it doesn't say queue for me, but Renee would have queue there also. And he's going to draft. So he's going to draft Jalen Hurts. There's his pick. And Jalen Hurts just disappeared from my queue. I have CeeDee Lamb. Okay? So that's how it's going to work. The next one is going to be the pandemics. Again, if he took CeeDee Lamb, who's the next person on the list, and went to him and drafted him, I'm not going to have any players in the queue because those players are all here. Okay? So you've got all the players that are there and going through. It's going to go back around and it's going to keep going through. So if I wanted to, now for me, I can go through and I can pick players for the queue for myself and put them in. So I can go to someone and put them in the queue for me again, things like that, okay? So that's how that works. There's another thing here that has, see if I have this one right here. Nope, not that. There's the thing, oh, show taken players. If you look at that, it shows any of the players that have been taken. Like, I didn't clear all these out yet, so, but it'll have something that looks like that. See how there's a line going through Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley? I'm going to have to clear out all these players to make sure they're all set. Josh Allen, I don't have all of them cleared out right now, but you see that Jalen Hurts was picked. I didn't clear it because I've been doing this a few times. But when I start this over again, it'll show that all those players are available, and there's just a slight line through there. It's kind of hard to see. You can go back and black out and get rid of that, and it'll just get rid of those players. Oops, where am I here? It's hide taken players right over here, okay? So hide taken players, show taken players, okay? So if you have it on, if it says hide them, it's actually showing them with the mark out. If it says show them, it'll take that away. Okay, so you're just clicking back to it if that's what you want, all right? So now we've gone through. I actually just clicked out, accidentally hit the wrong button, so I picked CeeDee Lamb for the third pick. He's there. You'll see the picks are over here. You can kind of scroll up and down and see that each of the players are there. It's going to bring you to the next one. It's going to show that Kevin is up next, and Kevin's going to choose Kyron Williams just because it's easy for me to do, okay? So he drafts him, boom, he's there, he puts it in, it's gonna go all the way through. So at this point, I'm just gonna click on a few more just to get around back to me to show you what happens on each part of the draft as each team goes. And it's gonna go back around, and of course, it's gonna do what it always does, and it's going to just keep snaking through the order. It's going to go 1 through 10 and then 10 through 1. Okay. So I'm doing this quickly, trying to get through on each of these drafts. So I'm just about finished right now as I'm picking just one at a time indiscriminately. And draft. We're at number 8, number 9, and number 10. Okay. So now we've drafted the first 10 players. We go back now. See, now the arrow goes back the other direction. And as it goes back around, it's going to, we're going to just draft all these players here one at a time. So I'm just going to, you can see it kind of going back over, and it's going to, each time I put somebody in the draft, you're going to notice that right here, that it's moving back to the left, okay? And it's just going back down. So it's showing you every time that you are drafting, okay? So I'm just going to keep drafting this through until it comes back to me, just so that you can once again hear that I'm on the draft board, okay? Now, just a few picks from me.
You are on deck.
I'm on deck. See, it told me that I'm on deck. I'm 2 picks away. There's 1 pick before me and then me. So now, when the Roman Express picks and the draft goes on, he drafts him.
You are on the clock.
It's going to tell you you're on the clock. Now, just so everyone knows, there is no time limit on the clock right now. Okay, we're not going to have a time limit this first year. Eventually, probably next year, we're going to do that. And what happens if you don't pick in a certain amount of time, the league will actually make an auto pick for you. So you're going to have X amount of time. It'll make the draft go by a little quicker. There's a countdown. It'll show how much time you have left. And if you don't make the pick, it's going to pick for you. Okay? So, and that's it. So now it's me, and I would pick twice. So again, I pick the first time, And
On the clock.
again, I'm on the clock. But if I wanted to pick this guy, remember, I can still put him in the queue. And I can put a couple of guys in the queue if I want to. So if I want to put guys in the queue, it's going to put them down in my queue. And you can do this ahead of time when your pick's coming up. Say you're 3 picks away and you have 3 guys in there. If one of them gets picked, it'll go down to 2 guys. Of the 3 guys you'll have there, one of them will still be available for you. So you don't have to use the queue, but it's there for you. Again, any problem with this, I can change anything here. Okay, so I can go through and I can draft. And now I'm off the clock, and that's it. And everything is going to be here. It's telling you what round we're in and that we're picking. So I be the first pick of the second round of the third round here. Okay, I made the last pick of the second round and the first pick of the third round, and it'll keep going through. And again, don't forget, you can show you can show the players that have been taken because it's going to cross them out. But they will all be available when everything's done. I've just been doing this a few times just to familiarize myself with it. And again, last thing, if you have any questions, just ask me to make the pick for you, and I can make it for you. You know, it's my turn. I can't figure out what's going on. I'm a little confused. We'll try and explain it to you, but ultimately, I can make the pick for you. You want Christian McCaffrey, and you're worried it's taking too long, I can just click them for you. I just made all these picks for everybody right now, so I can do that for anybody during the thing. So all you have to do is ask. If you have a problem, we'll get it figured out. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we get through this so that everybody understands it. So just take a look at this video. If you have any questions, either email me or call me, and we'll get it all figured out. All right? I will see you all on Tuesday night. Good luck drafting.